Bruchim Habayim, we are continuing on Masechet Makkot, and we are on Daf Chaf Bet, Amud Aleph, the top of the Amud. Today's Amud is being learned as Chut for Rufah Shalma V'Rachet Simcha Bad Nahid, and the learnings of the community has been dedicated this week graciously by the Dayan family, by Shea family, by Cohen families. It should be ultimate Chut for all their families. B'Ezrat Hashem, Amen. So we started discussion of a scenario in which you will cook Gidan Hashem with halav, and you'll get 5 different sets of malkut, right? This is actually very interesting because this is what we're doing now in the Gemara. Like, try to beat the numbers. We had previously that you are choresh telem echad, you have one row that you plow, and you're going to get 8 different malkut. We're going to go back to that actually. So we're still in that same loop of how many malkut can you get for one thing, right? So we spoke about the Gidan Hashem, how 3 of them are Isur Bishul, 2 of them are Isur Achila. Of course, when you have, this is on Yom Tov, right? You're cooking it on Yom Tov, so you will have a malkut for Ochel Gidan Hashem. You're going to have malkut for cooking for no sorech on Yom Tov. Cooking on Yom Tov for eating, when you're eating a kosher thing, is mutar. But shelo lesorech, according to Bet Shammai, it's asur, right? We don't say mitoch shehutra lesorech, hutra shelo lesorech. That's a different Masechet Betzah question. And you're also getting an isur because of basar b'chalav. You're cooking Gidan Hashem with chalav, right? You get another one for eating basar b'chalav, right? So that's also. And the 5th and final one is Isur Havara, said the Gemara, because you lit the fire on Yom Tov for no reason. So what's the way saying? You wanted to say that the En Chiluk Melachot b'Yom Tov, that if you do all the 39 Melachot on Yom Tov, you get only 1 set of lashes. Here, we're clearly saying, and that you get 1 for lighting the fire and another one for cooking for no reason, right? So that's like a bomb kasha. The Gemara is correct. This count is not correct. You didn't count them correctly. The scenario is slightly different. The Gemara has to have 3 attempts to get it completely right. We're going to go through the attempts of the Gemara. So it says, the Gemara, correct, take out Bishul, right, or take out Havara. Really, the Rishonim actually ask, why take out Havara? Havara is the first one that you get, right? So, the Gemara says, you already are chayav for bishul. What do you mean? The first thing you did was havara, then you did bishul. So that's something the Rishonim deal with. But says the Gemara, afik havara v'ayil gidan hashe shel nevela. You know what this gidan hashe was? It was from a treif animal, not a non-kosher animal. Right? Everyone knows the difference between terefa and nevela, right? Terefa is you shecht a proper shechita, and then you check the animal and it was not healthy. You had one of the simanei terefa, so an unhealthy animal is not kosher, even though that's a cow, But nevela, however, is a healthy animal, kosher animal, that's healthy, but you messed up on the shechita process, right? So if it's nevela, it's its own isur. So you have the gidan ashesh nevela, and the Gemara says that's the case. The Gemara says can't be, because Rabbi Chia on this Mishnah said, Lokeshtayim al achilato, there are only 2 isurei achila and 3 on the cooking process. So you can't take the havara out and put gidan hashem shel nevela, because now you're going to have 2 on cooking and 3 on eating. So that's not the case. Ve'ita shalosh al achilato hu chayav. So it says, okay, apik havara, take the havara out, because havara you don't need. You already are chayav 1 for bishul on Yom Tov for no reason. So you can't count another one, because en chiluk melachot b'Yom Tov. As we said, on Yom Tov, if you do separate isurim, you only get 1 set of malkut. The ayil aseh asherah. The wood that you used for the cooking was aseh asherah. Right? It was a worship tree. So that's asur. Gemara says, fine, that's nice, but it has a side problem. The side problem is, it will be asur because of lo tavito eva el betecha. You can't even own it. You can't even bring it to your house. So you should have an additional. It should be 6, not 5. לא תביא תועבה על ביתך, אלא הכה במאי עסקינן. The final answer of the Gemara is, כגון שבשלו בעשה הקדש. You had wood from the בית המקדש, wood from הקדש, ואזהרה תמהכה. And the azhara, the love, is from the pasuk of Asherehem tisrefun ba'esh. Lo ta'asun ken la'Hashem Elokechem. You have to burn the avodah zarah, but you can't do the same thing with hekdesh. So therefore, if you have wood that is hekdesh, you cannot use it outside of the, you cannot burn, you cannot do any usage of chol. So therefore, that would be asur. Fine. So the Gemara says now, additional questions on this. Matkif la Rav Hoshaya, why only 5? Right? You know, sorry, this is going back now, as we mentioned before, on the Gemara that we mentioned before, that you have 8 isurim by choresh telem echad, that you could plow and have 8 different isurim, 8 different sets of malkut in one plow. Well, says, why only 8? Amar matkif la Rav Hoshaya velichshuv nami azorea benachal etan. Right, the place that you would decapitate egla arufa, right, has to be benachal etan. We just had this in previous parasha, that if you found a corpse that we don't know who killed him, and it's not in a specific city, it's between cities, you find the closest city, you bring the Sanhedrin of the city, and there's a whole process, right? They have to decapitate the egel. It has to be in a place that has not been plowed ever before, so you can't, and that place forever cannot be plowed or planted afterwards. So that's Isur Doraita, right? So says the Gemara, just say that this place was also Nachaletan, so you plow, Chazaku Baruch, you get another one. Right? And I think this is creative. Wait, in 2 seconds, it will be completely creative, right? Says the Gemara, Asher lo ya'aved bo v'lo yizara. Lo yizara means it will never, should never afterwards be plowed or planted or worked. So that's one kasha. Second question, Matkif la Rav Chanina. Chanina says, v'lichshuv nami hamoheket Hashem ba'alichato. Imagine you also had on the ground the name of Hashem there, or on a paper or on the ground itself, and you can't erase the name of Hashem. You can't cause it to be erased, right? So therefore, you have this, and that will be another. You destroy the name of Avodah Zarah. Don't do it to Hashem. From here we learn Azhara that you cannot erase any of the names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. By the way, this is you think this is simple. I could give you something that happened just 3 days ago at the wedding, and after the wedding they had to clean up and set up and thing, and the tefillot that people had put for the shat chuppah, all of it had names of Hashem on it multiple times, and all of it was being ripped and put on the floor. People were stamping on them. It was horrible. There was hundreds of them. So I spent like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, just going around the entire hall, picking this up from underneath people's house. That's a Isra. Chatanim and kalot, and people in the family have to be careful in this, and people at the weddings have to be careful. If you go to a wedding that you have this, you'll think about this love in the Torah. And you go right after chuppah and take it from everyone before they throw it on the floor and trash it in the garbage. I still have all the stack of them in my bag. I have to put them in the kniza, but that is again something to think of. So that could be also an additional one. So says the Gemara. Matkifla, third question, it becomes more creative by the second. V'lichshuv nami hakotzes et baharto. Imagine as you have sarat, right, in your foot, whatever it is, and as you're going, the plow goes on your foot and cuts that baheret also. And like, I may as well just get rid of the sarat here also. So put that also in, right? And of course, the azhara of that would be hishamer b'neka hasarat, right? That you cannot cut sarat out of your body. Matkif la Abaye. Abaye says a fourth question. Once you add it, also imagine if you had the ephod and choshen and mishpat have to be always connected. You can't move from it. And imagine if you move that at the same time as well with the plow. That would be an addition. Or you took the poles of Aaron of the luchot, you took it out and you attached it to your plow. It was part of the plow, as v'shalom. But every second that you have this out and you're plowing with it, you are over on an additional isur of not putting it back in the Aaron. Lo yasuru mimena. The poles of Aaron can never be out of the Aaron. Ve'azharate me'acha. Lo yasuru mimena. Ve'lo yizacha choshen. So that's additional question that Abai asks. And matkiv la Rav Ashi adds a cherry on the top. Ve'lichshuv nami ha'choresh ba'asei asherah. Right? That the whole plow is made of asei asherah. Why don't you add that? And the azhara is that you can't use it from the herem, from the asherah. So says the Gemara, final answer, good questions again. Imagine if you take for your plow from fruit trees. You can't cut down fruit trees for personal usages. That's asur, right? Isur bal tashchit. Ki umenu tochal v'oto lo tichrot. Ama le Rabbi Ze'ira l'Rab Mani v'rechshonami ki gom dam hashvuah shelo echarosh b'yom tov. You could add one final cherry in the top, and the guy has said, I swear that I'm not going to do harisha on Yom Tov. So that will be another addition. He's over with plowing on Yom Tov. He's also over on his oath. The Gemara says, no, that's not the problem. All the other ones are good problems, right? You could add those. But this one is not a good one. Why? Because you cannot swear on something that the Torah has already made you swear by Har Sinai. We call it mushpa ve'omid me'Har Sinai. You already have an oath hanging over your head for keeping the entire Torah. So you can't count that. You don't add any additional isur by swearing and taking an oath on something that you already have an oath on. So says the Gemara, Hatam lokach hala shvuah. The shvuah is not chal. It's not effective because mushpa ve'omid me'Har Sinai. He is already sworn in to keep the Torah. Amaleh, he said, no, that's not what I'm talking about. This is Nedarim U'Shvuot 101, the first wide line. Amaleh kegon da'amar shvuah shelo echrosh ben bechol ben b'yom tov. That's just a little preface. When a person includes in his oath something that the Torah does not obligate, and together with that he includes something that the Torah does obligate, now he has an additional oath on top of the Torah. So for our purpose over here would be if he says, I take an oath, shvuah, that I'm not going to plow ever, not on weekdays and not on Yom Tov. So because his shvuah is chal, takes effect on the weekdays, his shvuah also takes effect on Yom Tov. And now on Yom Tov, if he plows, he is over on the isur of Yom Tov. He's also over on the isur of shvuah. Is breaking an oath, right? Because the oath is all encompassing, so the oath took a hold when he said it, both for weekdays and Yom Tov. The migu de chala ale shvuah behol chala ale nami b'Yom Tov. Migu, once it takes effect in weekdays, it also takes effect on Yom Tov. So says the Gemara, no, still not, because midi de ite b'she'ela lo katani. This Shavuah, when you take an oath, you could undo it. You could go to the Hacham afterwards and say, Qarat Ka'ana, I don't know, if I knew all the pieces of information, I would not have taken an oath, I would not have made a neder, and you could make Hatarat Shavuah, Hatarat Nedarim, and yalla, it's good to go. So therefore, the Gemara did not count that in. The Gemara says, well, you don't count something that you could annul and void. V'arei ektesh. Hekdesh also you could null and void. Now, how the Hekdesh becomes null and void, we have to discuss. That's one kasha. Or also, Ve'arei Nazir. One of the cases was the guy is a Nazir in Bet Kavarot. Remember that? One of the 8 was the guy is a Nazirite in cemetery. And a Nazir can't make himself tameh. So he said, wait a second, Nazir also is a neder. Neder Nazir Lazir Lashem. So you could also do she'ela on Nazir. One of the guys that became Bal Tshuva was very excited. He came to Yeshiva. He was learning about the concept of Nazir. He got excited. He said, I'm going to be Nazir for 30 days. They made a neder. So then he went to his rabbi. The rabbi said, oh, Vila, right? Because nowadays, if you make a Stam Nazirut, it will be Nazirut Le'olam, because you can't fix it. There's no Korban. You can't shave and bring it. You need Beit HaMikdash for that. Right? But because of the same token that the guy didn't know this halacha, he had open petach and charata to nullify the whole neder altogether. Right? So Nazirut also, the Gemara says, no. We talk about Nazirut Shimshon. Right? An eternal Nazirut does not have a problem of Hatarat Nadarim. You cannot do Hatarat Nadarim. If someone says, I want to be Nazirut Shimshon, so there's no Hatarat Nadarim for it. Shimshon was Nazir Olam, was an eternal Nazir. So says the Gemara, that's a very nice attempt, but you know what Nazirut Shimshon also has? You know what Shimshon was known for? He was a killing machine. How did he kill people if Nazir can't become Tameh Lemet? Nazirut Shimshon, an eternal Nazirut, does not have a problem of Tumat Met. You could kill, you could be Tameh Lemet, it's not a problem. It's the only Nazir that could actually become Tameh Met. So it says, the Gemara, Nazir Shimshon bar itmuye lemetimu. He has no problem. You're trying to make this an Isur because he's in Bet HaKvarot, you just buried yourself, pun intended. Okay? The Nazirut Shimshon doesn't have a problem of Tameh Met. So Elahai Tana, Isur Kolel Letle. This Tana doesn't have Isur Kolel. Now we have to get to this Isur Kolel. It's a little bit more involved. I wanted to get to the Mishnah, but we'll pause here, and the last 3 lines will Bezat Hashem continue in the next shiur. Chazak Baruch.